UJA-Stu-Dan, which is a UJA beneficiary organization. The needs, especially in this economy, keep growing, and together we work to make sure the most vulnerable among us aren't forgotten. And this is definitely a partnership in the best sense of the word. UJA Federation and Business Professional Division working great together. You were also asked in your event confirmation email if you had questions about UJA, about the mission, the operations, the initiatives, and we're happy to get responses, and we'd love to take a few minutes to answer them. And to do so, I'd like to welcome up Campaign Chair Stu Seltzer and tonight's event co-chair Lynn Dagley. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Dan. As Dan said, we asked in our confirmation email if anyone had any questions about UJA Federation. So I'd like to answer them in this public forum for you, and perhaps we can all learn a little bit more about UJA. Thank you for sending in your questions. And Stu's going to answer these questions, so let's try. Okay, the first question is, when we started Connected Care 2 years ago, we figured the economy might improve and people would find jobs. Unfortunately, this hasn't been the case, as we all know. Now that we're in our third year of this initiative, what does UJA see as the next step?
Okay. Thanks, Lynn. And also, before I answer the question, let me just recognize Ron Klausner and thank him and Ansel for all the great work they've done in SG. Your question about Connected Care. Connected Care just started 3 years ago and it has touched 45,000 people in the New York area. And unfortunately, it is still a very much needed service that UJA funds provides. It's remarkable how many people they've touched. I know they've helped here in Westchester over 1,000 people find new jobs, and many people here in there have touched some people there. I've provided a seminar. In fact, there's another initiative I'll just mention called Connect the Jobs, and basically it works like this. If you know the job, if you hear of a job, if you have a job that you're looking to fill your company, simply call somebody at Connected Care and let them know so they can pass that on to the participants and fill it with some of our own. So,
thank you. And actually, I've been the liaison along with Richard Blazer from Connected Care for our group, and we thank everybody for their help and participation in the effort. So the next question that we have is, what's UJA Federation doing to encourage the next generation participation?
To reach the younger generation, the UJA is very inclusive, reaching people of all ages. But actually, it's a good time to mention a new challenge fund that was started right here by one of our Westchester residents, Dan Ott, a prominent leader right here in UJA. And it's basically, he has committed $1 million as a matching fund. And it's called the Dan Ott Challenge Fund. It runs through the end of November. And it works like this. And if you are 45 years or younger, and you increase your gift or have a new gift, this fund will now match that dollar for dollar, which is fantastic. So hopefully we'll be able to as far as reaching other ages, you go down a notch to the 20s, 30s. There's plenty of anybody here with children or grandchildren. In the 20s and 30s, there's many programs in the city. There's the Birthright Israel program that UJA funds. Go down a notch. There's a J-Team program here that is very strong here in Westchester. You can go down further. There's the Bar Mitzvah program that UJA also helps engage the middle school kids, so of all ages. So I can go on, but you get the story.
Well, 45 and younger will definitely get our kids involved. That's great. It's wonderful. We all care very much about Israel, of course, and so one of the questions was, how much of our funding goes to Israel?
Out of this last campaign that raised about $137 million, about $30 million went to better the lives of Israelis in Israel. And in fact, if you look back over the history of the State of Israel, UJA Federation has provided over $1 billion of support to really improve the quality of life of the Israelis. So you know what, Lynn, before you go on, let me ask you this, just go off the record. Why do you give to UJA?
Well, I think that to most of us that have been involved in UJA, we all come from families and traditions where being philanthropic and Jewish giving is really important, so that's certainly the background that I come from. But not just giving money, of course, you have financial resources, but we also try to give our time and volunteer as well, which is very important. And then, of course, UJA has the network and the resources to respond to crises for all of us throughout the world, and I think that this is a great place to be sure that we're being watched over in that way.
All right, great. Any others?
Yes, sure. So, Dan, let me ask you a question. So you see we have a new tagline, good together, on our material. What is the background on it?
You might see everything that is now good together. UJA is good together. Basically, it's not so much a new mission. I mean, the mission has stayed the same, which is really to care for those in need, rescue those in harm's way, and strengthen the Jewish population here in Westchester, New York, Israel, and around the world. But this good together, it's really simple. There's kind of three basic beliefs we all believe in. Mend the world, love the neighbor, every Jew is responsible for one another. Those are the basic beliefs. And now it's all about that your gift, that our gift, can do much, much more together. So it's together, my gift to UJA, together with the other 60,000 donors of UJA in the New York area, can make a much bigger impact. Together, we're all doing it good. So that is one of the genesis. We'll be seeing a lot more on that. In fact, now is a good time, as we talk about that, to ask everybody here, if you haven't made a gift to the UJA campaign this year, to consider making it. Because again, together as a group right here in Westchester, we can make a difference together. And together, we can improve the quality of Jewish life here in Westchester, in Israel, and around the world. And so with that, feel free to take those on the look at your pocket and consider. And thank you, Lynn. Are we, any others?
No, we'll come back later. Thank you.
All right. So now, thank you, Lynn. To introduce our speaker. And let me introduce Dan Doctoroff and welcome him to the Westchester community. Dan is president of CEO of Bloomberg LP, where he's led the company through this financial crisis by providing an ambitious growth and investment strategy. Prior to Bloomberg, Doctoroff was deputy mayor of New York City and worked with Mayor Michael Bloomberg. In fact, I was looking online. I want to share two quotes I found about that Mayor Michael Bloomberg made about Dan Doctoroff. First one. As the chief architect of our 5-borough economic development plan, Dan Doctoroff has done more to change the face of this city than anyone since Robert Moses. Another quote that I got a chuckle out of. At $1 per year, and for 6 years, the $6 we have paid Dan makes his service to New York perhaps one of the greatest bargains for the city since the purchase of Manhattan for $24. Okay. So in addition to Dan, I also want to recognize his wife, Alyssa Doctoroff, who is with us here today. Alyssa not only is Dan's wife, but she's also one of the leaders of UJA and a longtime leader of UJA, and currently is chair of the board of UJA. So thank you, Alyssa. Dan is no stranger to Westchester. In fact, his sister-in-law lived right here in Larchmont for many years, so in preparation for today's remarks, I gave her a call and I said, can you tell me what was Dan's favorite part about Westchester when he came and so forth? And she said, you know what, I think the best part was when he got in his car to go back to his beloved New York City. We're lucky that Dan ventured out here to Westchester today, so please join me in welcoming Dan Doctoroff.
Thank you very much, Stu. The last time I actually saw Stu, speaking of my sister-in-law, was I rode my bicycle up from the city up to Larchmont and Stu happened to be at her house, so it's good to see you again. I do want to clarify one thing, the quote from Mike Bloomberg about $1 a year. Just to set the record straight, I actually did not make $1 a year. I actually only made 93 cents a year because they took 7 cents out for Social Security. And as a result, in a fit of spite, I refused to cash my check to make sure that the city's budget did not balance for 6 years in a row. You know, and I was asked to come and speak, and at this point I will acknowledge the role my wife, Lisa, played in getting me to come up here to speak. So I'm so happy that she is here to encourage me on. You know, I was asked to talk about 3 things.